Greetings, beloved children. It is your group Souls Arena, and we are so delighted to be here with you and to have you here with us. We have been digesting all the strands of your stories. We want to assure you, Patty, that your story is here with us as well. And as we have been digesting all the different strands and patterns and threads of your stories, we have been also gathering the fruits of your stories together. And as we gather the fruits of your stories together, the teachers assemble, the guiding energies who would love to share counsel with you on this beautiful evening. And so we are beginning now with a visit from a very special soul. He often comes in, you know him well, many of you, Master Saint Germain. We're going to pull off to the side and allow dear Master Saint Germain to share his thoughts with all of us on this evening. Good evening, beloved comrades in spirit. I'm so happy to be here with you. I don't think you have any idea how much you delight me, how familiar each and every one of you are to me, and how many times we have cycled together on this planet as comrades, as storytellers, as physicians and doctors and musicians and alchemists. We've done it all, kids. And here we are again. And I'm so happy to be here with you. I was talking earlier with your channel. I was, and several other of the Ascendant Masters were gathering and wanting to talk to all of you tonight about what it means to spin a story and what the habit of telling a story in such a way that the story is a projection and not the whole truth, and what we see as a beautiful new accountability rising up on the surface of world consciousness. If you would imagine a story that is spinned in the same way that you could see a magician holding plates that the magician is spinning on sticks. Can you all see that? You all see a magician in front of you spinning these plates on sticks. And it takes a lot of practice, doesn't it, to be able to spin these plates and capture an audience with the illusion of spinning things in a certain direction and working with an audience's eye so that the magician knows how to spin plates and spin illusion in such a way so that it moves with the audience's eye and never really surprises the audience, but gives the audience what they want. So this is one of the definitions of sorcery that we wanted to bring into unite tonight. Sorcery versus the whole story. So there is a sorcery, and then there is the whole story. And what you all are about as pioneering souls is listening into the whole story, not just the piece of a story or a fragment of a story, but really understanding that it is the whole story that matters. Our darling Cecilia, you had a beautiful vision, didn't you? The dream in which you were gathering possessions from all corners of the earth, gathering them together and bringing them together. This is what I would call, and many of my partners here would call, the assemblage of the whole story. And this is a big part of how all of you are evolving. Not just you, my dear sister Cecilia. Surely you are, yes, evolving. But that dream that you had of gathering possession from all over the world is a part of this bringing the story together, a whole story from all over the world, from every country, from all of our lifetimes, all of our experiences. And one of the reasons that this is so important is that it is a complete counter to, a counterbalance to, an answer to what we believe the anathema of spinning a story that is a story of blame, in which a person is blamed, or a party is blamed, or an institution is blamed. And that story of blamed has been spun for eons. As you know, a very long time ago, somebody overheard a story about how sin entered into this world, the idea of sin entering. It's a ludicrous story. Nevertheless, the story went something like this: why did you eat the forbidden fruit? Well, the woman, she made me do it. All her fault. That was a plate that was spinning in the air. And then to the woman, well, why did you do it? Well, the snake made me do it. Another plate spinning in the air. A story that is spun to throw off personal responsibility for the whole story, and courage also for the embracing of the whole story. Now, the good news is, my dears, is that we are seeing a rising tide in consciousness, an eagerness to put aside the spin, to put aside the falsified story, the story of blame, of this is somebody else's fault. And that is getting old, and that's getting tired. And that is not moving the boat of consciousness ahead any longer. We see a hunger in consciousness for the whole story, for the entire story. So let me just talk with you a little bit about what's the whole story. Well, Cecilia, you were on it when you were gathering your possession from all over the world. It is the whole story for each of us as individuals has to do with what we have planted and what we have reaped over the course of many, many lifetimes, what our true spiritual possessions are, the lessons that we have learned that bring forth a whole story. The whole story is not a story where anyone or anything is blamed. There is no blame in the whole story. The whole story involves a beginning, a middle, and another beginning, and another middle, and another beginning. Ad infinitum. The whole story keeps on going. You may remember there is a story associated with our beloved master teacher, our brother Yeshua. His disciples observed a man born blind. He was born blind, and they were very concerned about whose fault was that. Why was he born blind? Who did sin? They asked him. Master, who did sin? Did he sin, or did his parents sin that he was born blind? somehow inferring that he had sinned perhaps in a past life. But they're looking for blame, aren't they? Why did this happen? Why do bad things happen to good people, etc.? Who's to blame? And as you recall, the master teacher was so beautiful, wasn't he? And he said, neither did he sin, nor did his parents. Nobody sinned, and nobody's to blame. This is all for the glory of God. This is all for a healing. This is all so that healing may be demonstrated. And then, as the story goes, he did heal this blind man, and the man's eyes were open and he was able to see. And there was never a moment um, of recrimination, of blame, of any of that. The whole story for that man was that there was nothing to be blamed. There was no sin to be blamed. His parents weren't at fault. It wasn't in his ancestry. There was nothing of that sort. Really, what this was an opportunity for healing to show. Now, that's the whole story. Can you feel that, beloveds? That's what we're talking about. That's the whole story. And that's what you, in your collective consciousness, are getting more and more interested in, aren't you? You're interested in the whole story. You're interested in this has come up so that it may be healed aspect of the story. That's where the wholeness is, yes. That's where the holiness is, yes. That's the whole story. So thank you for listening to this aspect. I know that my brother, Master Teacher Emmanuel, is standing by. He's so patient. And he would like to pick up where I leave off. Your group soul, Zarina, has given us the nod. And so we're just going to continue, only my brother Emmanuel is going to step forward. So bless you, ladies. You know I love you, don't you? Yes, of course you do. Bless you. Thank you, Brother Germain. And this is your Uncle Emmanuel. I'm so happy to be here. I am your channel's, you would call me her main teacher, her ascendant master. I am the one who counsels her and who helps to keep her straight upon her path and reminds her often of her divinity. And I am her encouragement, and I'm glad to be here serving all of you as I serve her. So I was, of course, standing rapt, listening to the master teacher Germain talking, my brother Germain. And when he passed over the baton to me, I know that the channel suddenly saw a hoop in my hand. And I know she wondered, why is Master Teacher Emmanuel holding a hoop? So I'd like to explain that to all of you, what the hoop means in terms of telling the whole story. And many of you have heard of the sacred hoop, have you not? With your indigenous peoples, the idea of sacred hoop, the idea of the circle of earth to sky and then back to earth, the idea of a hoop, a sacred circle moving through the four directions. Here we have a sacred hoop, and as life as a beautiful sacred hoop, a circle. And what I'd like to talk to you about is that each of you has your own individual, what I would call your individual hoop, your sacred circle. And it is a circle of becoming that you have been practicing for many lifetimes, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And you have kept yourself contained most of the time within this certain sacred hoop, this particular aspect of story. And it has been self-contained. And that's an important piece of what we wanted to talk to you about tonight, that your stories have been like self-contained. That's not a bad thing. When you think of something that is ecologically self-contained, you think, oh, that's a good thing. That's a system that is self-contained, that knows how to take care of itself. And that's certainly been true. And as I think you are aware, you are coming to the end of what we are calling your self-containment, that the hoop that you've been practicing in, this particular sacred circle where you've been practicing cycles and lifetimes in which you've been examining patterns and looking at evolution in terms of cycles and circles and hoops, that's coming to an end. That now, if you will imagine this, my dear, dear sisters, imagine that there is a hoop around you. When you were little girls, some of you played with a hula hoop, didn't you? That was kind of fun. Well, imagine you've got that hula hoop around you right now. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Now, imagine that that hoop is now opening. So it is no longer a closed system, no longer a contained hoop, and that you in your consciousness are beginning to step outside of that closed system into a burgeoning, evolving consciousness that involves what we're calling the whole story. The whole story was always much more than that hoop, than that circle of life as you've known it here on planet Earth. Always much, much more. And now you're beginning to understand that as a species, aren't you? And beginning to feel it in your moments in meditation, beginning to understand that your bodies are actually very soft and very porous. Cecilia, we want to come back to your experience of your spine kind of just melting. Well, that's an experience of the hoop opening, where you feel what I would call the water of fourth dimension just moving in you and making your whole being much more porous. That system, that old hoop, is indeed opening now. And this is why many of you I know are troubled and why you are excited at the same time. Troubled because for many human beings on the planet, this is too much to bear. This idea that this familiar enclosure, this confinement, this system that we've been operating under, this pattern of belief, is now opening for many humans, is very frightening and causing many humans to act out of fear and paranoia and move back into a system that is familiar to them, and that is blame. Blame. Who did what to whom? And then there is the other aspect of consciousness, and you all are in this other aspect that is moving outside that circle of blame, that confinement, and now beginning to understand the whole story. And as you do, there are many things that you will notice change in your physical systems. And this is something else we wanted to prepare you for, so that you have an understanding of what is actually going on in your physical systems as a response to your body's knowing, oh my gosh, that old hoop, that circle is now opening. Your bodies are prepared for this, actually. Never forget that your bodies have a history of coming from the ocean, of coming from a kind of floating, porous existence. And your bodies hold that memory. And your bodies understand that now they are moving into this next stage of physical evolution, in which the physicality is much more porous, that physicality itself is more porous, which is why we are noticing more and more of you in your mediumship demonstrating what is called physical mediumship. I'm wondering, my beloveds, if we can develop a different way of describing physical mediumship so that it doesn't sound like it belongs only to a particular few, because some of you are seeing a butterfly right now. And I want to say, yes, that's accurate. That physical media, what you call physical mediumship, is actually only the natural evolution from chrysalis to butterfly. It's just a natural evolution. So maybe in your spare time, you could find a different term for physical mediumship, find a way that describes this as the natural step in evolution. And so, what is physical, or what you're calling physical mediumship, is simply the opening of the hoop and welcoming in the whole story, so that the whole story is energy and matter intertwined, interfacing, married in such a way that we really don't know when one stops and the other begins, but they are absolutely one. And you are beginning to recognize this, yes. So I wanted to talk about one other thing, and that is safety. And every now and then I hear little whispers coming from you, even those of you who are practiced travelers um, on this earth plane, a worry, a concern. Am I safe here? Am I safe in this environment? Am I safe in my country? Am I safe in this energy of division and partisanship and fear? Am I safe? And my dears, you are always safe. You are never, ever not safe. The only thing that causes you to feel as though you are not safe is when you indulge in only part of the story. The minute you blame another energy or blame yourself, the minute you engage in blame, that is when you will cause that energy of, oh, I'm not safe, to come forward. When you step in full accountability and say, all of this is my responsibility, when you're willing to do that, you see, when you're willing to know that the fullness of the love that you are is truly in charge of every moment, when you're willing to do that, then you're always safe. You may be dying, and you are always safe. I hope that makes sense to you. I know that I've got a little tap on this shoulder. We do have another beautiful one who's coming in, another divine witness. We've asked Serena if we can just continue on, and she has sweetly said yes. And so I'd like to step aside as the beautiful Kuan Yin comes forward for you. Oh, blessings. Thank you so much, my brothers. It's so delightful to be here. It's an honor to be among you and with you. You know that in my world view, or in my point of view, that there are no Muslims or Christians or Buddhists or any kind of divisions in religion. I wanted you to know that in my mantle, in my stewardship, I simply encourage souls to seek, to look, and to explore divinity in whatever way they can. And so many of my students explore divinity within a particular shell, a particular building, a particular way. But that is not the fullness of my teaching. The fullness of my teaching is explore divinity, explore your divinity, and know that you are love. Now, as my brother Emmanuel was speaking of this next piece of the teaching they're bringing in, and the piece doing with the hoop and the sacred hoop opening, and humanity and all of you included stepping out of the enclosure, out of confinement, into the whole story. I want to bring forth something for you right now. I want you to understand and know that you can feel this. Understand and know that you can feel that the entire planet Earth is now held in your hands. Feel that as a beautiful bird. Feel that as a baby bird. Feel the planet with its heartbeat. Feel the fluttering of the planet. Feel and know that you are holding the entire planet, and yes, the entire world consciousness in your hands. Feel and know that you are a guardian of this baby bird planet. Feel and know that you are the ones who have been practicing for eons how to help move this baby bird planet out of its fledgling nest into the open so that it can fly with both wings. You are the ones who have been observing and practicing to be here in this now moment. Please bring your focus back to holding this entire planet as though it were a very small bird, a baby bird, in your capable hands. Feel with me how responsive that planet is to your hands. Feel the heartbeat of the baby bird planet, of this entire world, of the history of your world. Feel it in the heartbeat of this baby bird. Know that you are the perfect mother for this baby bird, that you are holding this planet, this world consciousness with complete responsibility. Know this. Know that you are the right ones to hold this planet. Hold the planet with me as I hold the planet with you. Feel and know that my hands are intertwining around yours, each of you individually. April, know that my hands are entwining around yours as you hold this baby bird. Mary, I am doing the same with you. Cecilia, with you. Lindsay, I am holding this baby bird with you. We are all together, holding this bird together. Yes, Joy, you too. Cecilia, you. Violet, you. Each and every one of you. Know that I am holding that baby bird with you. Now, will you feel with me? Feel how strong and capable your hands are as you make a nest for this baby bird. Feel and know that this bird is your baby, that you are the mother of this baby bird coming forward, and that you are now holding that baby in a beautifully constructed nest, an arc of consciousness. Know with me that your etheric hands are symbols of the nest you make of your consciousness for this bird now, getting ready to leave, to fledge, to fly, to move forward. Now, as you hold this baby bird and know that the bird is getting ready to fly, you may feel twinges of sadness. Oh, please don't fly. Please don't leave. Please don't grow up. Please don't evolve. Please. I understand that sadness. And I also understand that each and every one of you is mature enough to work with that sadness as something that is a necessary passageway for all of you. It is a part of your interior landscape. You are saying goodbye to life as you have known it. You are saying goodbye to a way of being that has held you like a sacred hoop, like a nest, for eons. You are saying goodbye to that because you are pioneers and because you know something. You know that as you birth yourself, you are birthing this planet. So will you let me stand with you and feel that sadness with you and struck that sadness within you as though I am strumming the strings of a very old harp so that you can feel that sadness as something beautiful, as a melody within you to be treasured, and to know that that is not the whole story. How brave you are. And now, will you with me, knowing that you've been training for this, knowing that you've been practicing for this, knowing that you are well suited for this opportunity, will you with me open your hands, open the nest of your consciousness, and will you let this bird, this little baby bird, fly and leave the nest of circumstance and leave the nest of story and leave the nest of karma and blame and quid pro quo. Leave it and fly. And now let's observe this little fledgling bird, this planet Earth, learning how to fly with both wings, one wing matted and covered with dirt, and the other wing lifted and soaring high. Let's watch this bird, this planet, this soul of your world now move forward, fly forward, and know that it is your own evolution forward that has enabled your planet to move forward. Thank you, dear ones. I am blessed in the way that you have woven your energies together for the sake of your rebirth. And this is your group Souls Arena. And we have one last speaker who would come in and speak to you. He is a very old chemist and old philosopher. He is Archimedes. And he brought in a saying, "Give me a lever and I can move the world." And now we are recognizing with you that the lever is a lever of consciousness, and that together we are moving the world. You will see this, dear ones, as you listen to reports of new voices coming forward, voices who speak reasonably and peacefully, those who speak of Palestine as a nation, those who speak in ways that are refreshing and intriguing, those who bring in solutions from outside of the box, solutions where there is no blame, there is only movement, the movement forward. And now our blessed philosopher would like to come in and speak a few words. I've had so many names. Archimedes is only one of them. I've had so many lifetimes and so many observances and so many practices, so many times when I have been able to practice movement, to practice and notice that what we do matters. Sometimes this has been called the theory of displacement, that what we do, what we say, actually moves the currents of emotion. My dear ones, you are the lever that moves the world. Give me a lever and I can move the world. Well, you know, that prophecy of mine is fulfilled in you. I have been given a lever and I notice it does move the world. And the lever is called by many names. The lever is Martin Luther King. The lever is your master teacher, Yeshua. The lever is Coretta Scott King. The lever is Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi. The lever is many, many peacemakers. The lever is all of you who continue to believe that you are here to displace the activity of fear with the lever of love and to move the planet forward. The lever is being born today. There are many beautiful souls being born who are activating their leadership, getting ready to move the rock of prejudice and fear and move aside the tyranny of blame and move aside authoritarianism as a response to blame and fear. There are many levers, and you are one of them. You and what you do and what you say. You are the levers that move the world. I thank you profoundly for being those demonstrations of movement. I thank you for opening up the closed circuit, for opening up that hoop, for allowing yourself to move beyond the circle of time and into the circle of love. I thank you for knowing that you are 4-dimensional and 5-dimensional and 6-dimensional ad infinitum. I thank you for knowing that you belong. I thank you for being a comfort to one another. I thank you, Joy, for being a comfort. I thank all of you for the work that you are doing. And as we end this group meditation, know that we are all together, all of us, sitting by a river of peace that is our true nature. Beloveds, this is our gospel. This is our good news. And we retell it and tell it and tell it over and over and over again. Now we begin. Now we start. One hand, one heart. Even death cannot part us now. For surely the world has shifted. For surely that old circle is now opening, and we are all stepping out into the infinite. This is a beautiful place for us to be. And I thank you all. Bless you. This is your group Souls Arena. It is now time to imagine that you are leaning down and tying your shoes, that you are tying the shoes of your understanding, lacing together this experience that we have had, bringing together these teachings that we have heard, putting the shoes on, the shoes of your understanding, being ready to move back into your physicality with your fourth dimensional membrane extending out, 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 farther and farther. It is now time to feel your knees, to understand your knees as intuitive vessels, to bravely use your knees as fulcrums moving forward. It is time to feel now into your hips, your pelvis, the cradle of your being, and understand that your wisdom is taking up fertile residence deep within not only your spirits, but your bodies. It is now time to feel the wisdom of your hearts, not only your physical hearts, but your heart chakras, and know that your hearts are moving beyond the dimension of rib cage, moving way, way beyond, out into the universe ad infinitum to explore, because love is not done with you, not by a long shot. It is now time to feel your instrumentality moving through your voice, that beautiful blue chakra, that beautiful sense of here is my manifestation, here is my wisdom. It is time to know that as you give voice to those beautiful divine wisdom, that you are in charge of your incarnation and you are moving yourself forward. And it is time to feel and know that the top of your head, your crown chakra, is only just the beginning. And as you make contact with the top of your skull, as well as the very soles of your feet, that you remember, this is only where I begin. I am so much more, and I am ready to dance out of this circle into infinity. And lo and behold, dear ones, guess who will be dancing with you? We will. And we say that with deep gratitude. And we thank you. And we bless you. And we now urge you to come forward, back to the very lip of your physicality, remembering that agreement you made. I agree to be spiritual within the lip of physicality, and remembering that you are in charge now of keeping your circle wide open and tell the whole story. Bless you, bless you, bless you. And namaste.